let's go. Yeah, sorry for that. Looks like, yeah. Now, so the right way to address this, we were telling that from ITIL 3 to ITIL 4, this is the service value system, and within the service value system is the service value chain. So the real evolution from service life cycle is to service value system, and within is the service value chain, which is the one that you are seeing here. It is pretty much like, yes, strategy is in transition, but it has evolved. And as you can see in the middle, we are seeing a cube. We were discussing, you don't know how much time we invest on discussing, okay, but how can we picture that there is no a single way? There is no like a linear way from demand to value. It's not like, okay, everything that goes into the service value chain is has to go engage, obtain, build for every single direction. No, it all depends on what the value stream is going through. So continuing with our story, so we went from the opportunities and demand through value. We must go through the service value chain. After we went through the service value chain, we are going to do a zoom in into the service value chain. And right here, remember, are the practices. We're going to do a quick review on the practices just in a few moments. But who is going to be, or what is going to be the one that actually triggers value, delivers value? Those are the value streams. And the value streams are the one who travels through the service value chain. Let's go again on a zoom on this. And this is an example of the service value stream. For example, for a new service component, in order to deploy a new portfolio, I want to offer this now through my service portfolio on a web page over the internet. So I will publish that. Okay, we identify the demand. We engage all of the stakeholders, the central banks or the local banks who are going to handle our transactions, the developers team, the marketing team. And once that we engage all of that, we obtain everything we need to do, the agreements, the infrastructure, everything we need. And after we design and we obtain, and after we obtain that, we start transitioning that technology into the actual website. And after that, we have the website. We're constantly delivering and support what? Our services through the website, okay? And maybe through our services, you will click on something, you will buy something, and you will actually get a product, for example. And once that you get the product, or simply you get the service, then you are going to start creating the value. So just remember, it doesn't matter what we all do from the blue box to the left. It doesn't matter for the customer. From a customer's perspective, from a customer's experience, just remember the value will only be understood and will only be have the perception of the value once that we actually offer it through the products and the services. So that's the main goal. And this is why we must change the mindset within our IT team. They must trigger the mindset into a customer experience perspective. Yes, it's going to be enhanced and enabled by high-tech products and services, yes. But if at the end the perception doesn't arrive, so nothing good will come from our consumers' perspective. So this is key. This is key. Okay, the value is still at the center of our value proposal. So, for example, once that I am delivering this new service component, after that, well, maybe somebody can't access our website, and what will happen? Well, if, for example, somebody is interacting with our service desk through a chatbot, for example, then this is going to be the service value stream. For example, the engagement is going to be enabled by the chatbot. We are going to start offering immediately through our chatbot the deliver and support, the support that they need. If they are asking for something specifically, then maybe they said, okay, I want this product. For example, I was talking about humanoids, robotics humanoids. Okay, I want, instead of these kind of cameras, I want 3D cameras. And instead of 2-level LiDAR sensor, I want a 3-level LiDAR sensor. Okay, that's good. So we can build again, we can transition the new product and then send it to the customer, okay? So these are the value streams. How many value streams are we going to have? Thousands, thousands. As long as we understand that these value streams are actually creating value, a single contact from our user is actually creating value, then we are working in an ITIL4 way of thinking, you know, because sometimes we are delivering a lot of support, we are handling a lot of calls, we are deploying a lot of chatbots, or we are doing a lot of automation through RPA, and that's perfect, that's perfect. But do you understand how these efforts are actually working throughout the service value chain, delivering value? That's the main consideration that we must address. I am getting some notifications that you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Maybe it's an old one. Can you hear me now, Antoine?
Yeah, of course, we can hear you very well.
I think that this is a late message from before. Okay, that's good. So continuing with this. Okay, that's perfect. Now, if we get back to our story, so what the value streams are going to do from our story perspective from today? Well, thanks to the value streams, I will be able to manage products, I will be able to manage services, I will be able to enhance service relationship through the co-creation of value. Okay, and this is what I will call the ITIL4 ecosystem. You know, this is the way it is working. And if you start reading the books, or if you start starting by looking at the service value system, service value chain, okay, sometimes it's quite hard to visualize this. But everything starts with the organizational resources, with our product portfolio. Then we offer that through our service portfolio. We start interacting with our consumers, but in order to do that, we already need to have the co-creation of value through our multiple stakeholders. All of them are going to have influences and constraints. All of them are going to help us to build to transform the demand and opportunities into value. And how are we going to actually do the work? Through the value streams. Okay, that's the way we are going to.
So, yes. Yeah, Mauricio, since you are talking about the stream, so there is a question from one of the attendees asking, is the engagement mandatory for each stream?
The engagement right here, yes, each stream is going through engagement. That's right, and it could be a support value stream, and in this case, the engagement is with the user who is having some issues, and the engagement is made by the chatbot, or maybe by our portal, or maybe by our telephone service desk analyst. Okay, that's the engagement. In this case, for example, for a new service component, okay, according to the demand, we need to engage with all of the stakeholders in charge of identifying what do we need with this new service component. So yes, we are going to start always from the engagement. That's a common entry. So just remember, on every single system, or even on every single process, you are going to have an input and an output. And the input will be will start working by something that we call a trigger. So we have a trigger, in this case, a customer support, a new service component, everything, and it goes through engagement, because the engagement needs to understand what does this trigger means to us. And once that I understand that, then I trigger the rest of the service value stream. So that's right.
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. Yes, just please keep coming. We are going to have a Q&A session at the end, but that's perfect if we start answering these kind of questions at the moment. So I told you, I promised you that we will just take a deeper look, a detailed look on the guiding principles. And If you speak with most of the architects, ITIL4 architects, I will say that we commonly agree that this is one of the greatest outcomes from ITIL4, because you can use this guiding principle on a day-to-day basis, not only for ITIL, but for everything you do, even in your own life. So it makes a lot of sense. And right now, especially now, where we right now are being bombarding on, oh, you need to understand about AI, machine learning, deep learning, different architectures, and how are you going to correlate your data? Okay, that's something. You need to understand about big data. You need to understand about RPA. You need to understand about chatbots on a 3 levels perspective for understanding customer intentions. But you need to understand as well on robotics, and now you need to understand as well on blockchains and on bitcoins. And you know, we are constantly reading a lot of things that you say, wow, how can we actually bring the best of the breed into our organizations? I will tell you, follow these guiding principles. And for ITIL4, if you look at the bigger picture, it's the same, because we now have 34 different practices. And it's like, wow, we can be overwhelmed about that. Follow these guiding principles. First of all, collaborate and promote visibility. We must address this as a team. We need a team. We need full communications. We need matricial organizations, hierarchically speaking. We need to work as a mesh. You know, we do not have time to behave on isolated areas or departments. This is telecommunications. This is no. We are the digital company. We all are. So let's work together. So collaborate and promote visibility. The same one. Keep it simple and practical. Sometimes we just read an article or we see something that it's impressive on a new technology, and then we want to achieve everything. And that kind of everything is like, no. Wow. We need to address this on an iterative way. Within ITIL, everything that you can hear about lean, agile, DevOps, a lot of philosophies, methodologies, everything is we put everything on the table when we discuss about ITIL4, and we must apply everything and keep it simple and practical. Is just go for small iterations and achieve quick wins in a short term. If you are going to say me that you are going to deploy a new project that we will starting to see benefits in 6 months' time, it's going to be, you're going to struggle for having that authorization. Yes.
Yeah. Tony. Well, another question. Someone is asking, he said, what about migrating from ITIL v3 to ITIL v4 or ITIL 4?
Yeah.
Now, we'll name it like this. Using guiding principle, in his opinion, is a starting point. However, in practice, what is the best approach?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. I will say, I will consider that, of course, if I already have ITIL v3, you already have the core of ITIL4. The core of ITIL4 are, yes, we are talking from the outside to the inside, but we're going to see in a couple of slides the practices. And if you have been working in ITIL v3, you already have incident problem, change, capacity, availability, security. You already have the core. So I will say that you already have 50% of the path. And what I will suggest now is just to switch on the mindset and the thinking on, okay, I was just focusing on going from a developing perspective of a service to provide value from strategy to continual service improvement. Now I will switch that into a service value system, which will be my main engine right now in order to address the new components. Remember, everything that something changes is that you take what you previously have done and you start by iterations. This is one of the guiding principles as well. You will start adding new products and services by iterations into the new way of thinking. So it's just, I will say that it's just start switching our service life cycle into our service value system. And how is it going to be? just follow the keep flowing, keep moving in the direction that your company is asking you to move. But every single new iteration, consider the service value system instead of the service life cycle, you know, and that's something, that's the right approach. And of course, there were some missing pieces on the puzzle on ITIL v3, and we are addressing those missing pieces with new practices. I will talk about this in a couple of slides.
Excellent. Okay, great. Thank you.
So this is the one that I was just mentioning. Progress iteratively and with feedback. It's just like, okay, this is what I have. Now I have this new product or new service or new development. Okay, I will start doing that, but with the focus on creating my service value chain and different service value stream for empowering and for underpinning this new service value chain. Think and work holistically. Remember the 4 dimensions always on everything that you do. Remember, it's always people, and then information and technology. You know, always think about that. Optimize and automate. Just remember, garbage in, garbage out. Okay. If I just start automating by using the whole power of AI, that's not enough. Because if I am delivering garbage right now, if I automate something, then I will deliver the same garbage, but in less time. And that's useless. So optimize before you automate, okay? That's important. Start where you are. For those who has already been traveled a good path in ITIL v3, you already know that you already have some strong processes. Use them and translate them into practices, okay? Just remember that. Well, okay, we're going to address that, but just remember, what's the main difference between process and practice? Well, one practice is a mindset. A practice is for example, incident management practice can has 10 different incident management processes. For example, a process for a major incident, a process for minor incidents, a process for incidents, security incident. Those are different processes. Okay, so we need to change the mindset. And of course, the 7th one, it will be always focus on value. If you are writing reports, okay, just remember, you need to ask to yourself why I am writing this report. Is this report delivering something good to someone? Is this reporting delivering some value to someone, to some stakeholder, internal or external? That's good. Then keep doing that. But if you can't find that, then we need to start improving, okay? So the ITIL practices are the core. I will say that everything that we have discussed wouldn't be possible without the ITIL practices. So we will just remember that this is the service value system, and inside is the service value change, that we just reviewed, and everything is underpinned by practices, okay? So the practices is a way of working, or a way in which work must be done. That's the definition. My personal definition, a practice is just a mindset. It's just a mindset. I have the practice of continual. And you know, if somebody is in continuity, for example, it's a mindset. It's something like everything is business processes. Does this have something to do with the business impact analysis? Is there some, they are already thinking over there. Security, it's a mindset. The security officers are always thinking on that kind of thing. So we need, in order to fulfill in the right way a practice, we need to create management structures, culture, skills, competencies, value streams, processes. As I just previously mentioned, one practice can have any kind of processes, information, tools, partners, supplier involvement, etc. Okay, so those are the practices. The practices, I will say that the practice is the energy that fulfills or that fuels the service value chain and the service value stream and the service value system, you know. So the practices are the real engine. And in this case, well, we tried to generalize, to create some kind of, okay, if we put 3 different boxes, how will we call them? Well, one of the boxes is the practices that are focused or has to be mainly with general business management practices. There are 14. Then we created the service management practices, which are 17. And then we worked on 3 technology practices. I want to share with you one story that happened to me the first day that we had the meeting in London. So Axelos assembled the team, the global team of lead architects, and then we flew to London. And on the first meeting, okay, what do we need? The question was to the architects, what do we need to improve from ITIL v3? And there were several topics, but one of the most commented ones is that there are too many processes. 26 processes, that's crazy. That's crazy. No, we need to shrink that. After 1 year of working, we did not only shrink that, we increased the number of domains that we must discuss and that ITIL must address. So we increased it from 26 to 34. So we are pretty sure that by covering in some extent those 34 practices, we will be able to have a very nice engine in order to fuel our new way of working. Okay, so how is the practices? Now remember, we wrote the books. There are going to be 5 books, core books. There are going to be additional books, yes, of course. But one of the things that we considered is, okay, but the practices should be a living entity. They just can be written down in a book and this book is going to be updated in 4 years. No, a practice is constantly being updated. So what we created is we start writing several practices. Well, all of the 34 practices are already there. I authored as well some of the practices. And this is the structure. If you enter into the Axelos website, just remember that if you just presented an ITIL 4 exam, you have access to their platform. And you will be able to download the 34 practices for free. So it is in the membership area, and if you download one practice, you will see always this structure: general information, well, value streams and processes, organizations and people, information and technology, and partners and suppliers. Okay, that's exactly what the main structure. Now, I knew that I was going to find some people expert on the ITIL v3 side. So I wrote it down and I clarify which are the practices that didn't suffer many changes. Those are the white ones. Significantly modified from V3 to V4. Those are the yellow ones, the brown ones. And new to ITIL4 are the red ones. And this is something that I was referring a few moments ago, that I was saying, okay, but we knew that there were some missing domains that were really, really important. For example, enterprise architecture, measurement and reporting. It's widely used on ISO standards, for example, but it wasn't included on ITIL v3. Organizational change management. Everything is about a mindset, as I've been constantly telling you that. So organizational change management, project management. A lot of people ask it, hey, what is project management in all of this? Risk management as a practice per se. We used to hear about risk management in continuity, in security, in availability. That's good. But what is risk management right now? Okay, this is a practice per se. Workforce and talent management. Everyone is willing to achieve digital transformation. That's good. And they want to start digital transformation by buying tools and not by changing the mindset and improving the qualifications or the competencies of our teams. So that's crazy. We just can't handle that. So these are the 17 general management practices. Then we move to the service management practice. For those questions, for those of you guys that say, hey, you already have ITIL v3, well, you have most of this. You already have most of this. What is new? Business analysis, IT asset management, the famous ITAM that is widely marketed by a lot of tool vendors, the ITAM. Remember that ITAM is not configuration management. So ITAM is new, and the service design is new because it used to be a life cycle phase, but now it's a practice, the service design. And we have the service test. Just remember that before this, service desk was considered a function. Right now is one of the most strategic points in the organization. Why is that? Because through the service desk, you are right now actually having interaction with all of your consumers, with all of your customers, and with all of your users, externals and internals. What is going on right now that everyone is working from home? Where is the central point of the whole organization? It's in a, it should be in a single practice, which is service desk. So the service desk is no longer a function, and it's a practice in itself. If you want to start achieving customer experience, user experience, everything about experience outside the company, the key point is the service desk. So focus on service desk. It has arrived to a strategic level. So I will say that if you want to have a change of view in the value perception, you must start over here on the service desk. And when
so Mauricio, so there's no more functions and processes, right? It's now practice. So just to make things clear for some of our attendees, you know, they still confused. Like someone is asking, in ITIL v3, we used to have incident management, and in ITIL 4, still incident management.
Yes.
So, so is it going to be like a migration for incident management or upgrade for incident management?
Not exactly. What I will say is that if we have incident management in both, okay, if we were talking about incident management in V3, is one and only process, and then you handle everything through procedures, and then it's like, hey, but what? So do I need to design and document a whole new procedure for security incidents? And it's like, yes, according to ITIL v3, and it's but. That's crazy, because security incidents, that's a whole new process. So how can I write that? And then you said, okay, that's exactly the maturity that you haven't achieved. So incident management will be no longer considered a process. It is a practice, and within the practice, you will be able to design as many incident management processes as you need. The security incident management process, the we will say minor incident management, major, and it will be maybe major on the customer side, or major. You know, you can start now enabling or executing this practice through maybe 10, 15, 20 different incident management processes. So that's a big step on the changing the mindset, because we were struggling on, okay, this is a process, but there can be additional incident processes. There's only one, and it's like, oh wow, that's overloading everything. And it's like, yes, just remember that we designed ITIL v3 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, that was the mindset. Right now, we just can't keep working on that. So we will move, we will push up everything. It's just one process, one practice, and then we will have so many processes. So that's the main difference. Yeah, the name is the same. Yes, the name is the same, but it means totally different, because right now, as we have over here, I was mentioning in this slide, a practice right now is a way of working. It's a way of working. So you need management structures, skills, competencies, value streams, different processes, information assets, tools, partners, supplier involvement. So there are so many things that you must consider in order to address the incident management practice versus an incident management process. You know, so that's huge.
Excellent.
The difference is huge.
Excellent.
Okay?
I know more questions are coming, but let's continue with the slides. So we'll leave the rest of the question to the end.
We are almost there. Yeah, we're almost there. So the technology management practices, it is like deployment management. Just remember, we used to have release and deployment. No. Those are two different and completely new ways of work, and aligning this to DevOps, aligning this to best practices on testing. No, one thing is releasing, and one thing is deployment. So they are even in different boxes. This is considered a technology management practice, and we do not used to have infrastructure and platform management. A lot of people used to ask me, a lot of MSPs, especially MSPs, they asked me, hey, Mauricio, I want to do some transitioning with my cloud services. where is this in ITIL? And it's like, wow, oh, well, you know, you are right. The new strategy about, oh, yes. Hey, there are new things coming about edge computing. How can I handle edge computing on ITIL? And it's like, wow, yeah, that's right. That's right. I can exactly see where it fits. And it's right now in infrastructure and platform management. And of course, it will be worked with software development and management. So, you know, the build, test, and release traditional phase of every single infrastructure, but mainly on the application side, has been just clarified, and it's in different practices. So remember, the practices are the real fuel to move your engine. That the whole engine will be the service value system. Okay, so these are the books. Okay, the foundation. I wouldn't say that this foundation is not fundamentals. It just explain you the new architecture. So it's really important. It's really important, and that was the first book that we released on March 2019. Then we wrote the CDS book. It's focused on this. You will have all of the slides, the information, so do not worry specifically for the information. Drive stakeholder value. I had the opportunity as well of being a co-author in this one. So we have DSP, we have high velocity IT. A couple of guys in my team co-authored this one. This is really nice. This is really interesting book. I will say that how are we going to start moving digital product services from design, you know, or even from demand to value in the next 10 years through high velocity. That's key. That's something key. I co-authored this book, Direct, Plan, and Improve. So it's really nice, and it's with in both streams, in the professional and in the leader one. And at the end, we released the digital and IT strategy that I think that I missed this opportunity. So at the same time, every single book has a certification exam and a course exam. Okay, so that's pretty much the way ITIL has been handling this since the last 20 years. So it's pretty much the same. And those exams are supported by these main publications. But remember, the information about the whole practices is on the website. It's available on the website. So the last one, it was released on October 2020, Digital and IT Strategy. So this is brand new. I was one of the reviewer of this book. Really nice book as well. So as I always do, I strongly encourage you to have the source of everything. The source is in the book. Okay, everything we can then see on a course or we can see on a website. It's just the interpretation of that person. So I always suggest to have that. We hasn't started yet ITIL Master, so far this is it's going to be part of it. There's going to be one designation on the certification side, but it's not ready. So wrapping up, these are the new concepts and models. You know, it's the business domains, the service value system, the service value chain. Okay, service value streams, and remember the Pestel model. Okay, and that's pretty much. Of course, we can now go to the Q&A, and if there is any additional questions, you can always find me in this email address or in social media. I am always available for you, especially coming from Tony community. So anything you need.
Well, yeah, a couple of questions. That was a great presentation, really, Mauricio. Very clear. It shows the power of ITIL 4, and it's a big change for ITIL. It's more clear. It's more into value, into an end user. Okay, so a question. Back to practices, change management, we still name it change control, or it is now change enablement?
It's change enablement. You know, those are the kind of feedback that the Axelos guys had. Just let me clarify something. I think that yes, it is important to know why these small changes, because it at the beginning it was the updated one, it was control, and then it was enablement. Why was that? Well, because in some forums, especially in Europe, there was some kind of a strong feedback about why it shouldn't be control and why it should be enablement. And yes, if we consider that, I think that yes, this is the right way to mention that. Change is a process who is in charge of, you know, it's a facilitator. It's not exactly the one who controls everything. So who actually controls the things? It's more configuration than change, you know. So it has a strong narrative, but the most important thing of everything is not about the naming conventions. The most important thing for us is to actually understand the meaning of changes. And that's it. And in this case, yes, the official was enablement, just for answer the question. But I will always say it, do not worry. And even when you remember that best practices must be adapted to your organizational structure to be adopted. If they are not adapted into your organizational culture, then it's not going to be adopted. So I have had several implementations, several deployments on implementation IT projects on different organizations on which they are right now, for example, calling change control. And hey, Mauricio, we even from an ITIL perspective, we call that change control. Do you think that we must invest time right now, an effort on a new communications plan in order to change the name control to enablement? And I said, no, do not waste your time on that. You need to focus on value. And if that is going to create you additional resources and additional burden, you know, if you need to carry on a lot of things because of this, just change of name, and this is not going to get you value, do not change that. Just keep calling it the way you think. So that's the most important. And there are plenty of very successful ITIL implementations that I have seen on which they are calling the practices in their own way, but they say it doesn't matter the name.
Actually, you know, with the old ITIL v3, we used to see the processes within the book. So you read the book, you go and read incident management. Yeah. Now, I know it is there in ITIL 4, but still not published. So if you just elaborate more about this, because there is like a question here, like where are these documents? How to get into these documents?
Incident. Well, all of the practices has already been published, and they are already available in the Axelos membership website. Now it's called My ITIL. I can search for the link, and then Tony, maybe I think that you can send the link with.
Yeah, sure. I can publish it later on. Yes.
The 30. This is very important. The 34 practices has already been published. They are already right now. You can have access to them by having access to my membership area. How can I have access to membership area? By two different ways. The first one, by taking an ITIL 4 exam, even foundations or anyone, and asking your access to the membership area. It's free if you already take one ITIL exam. If not, then you can buy the membership, and I think that it's around 50 pounds, 55 pounds, and you can have access to the membership area with access to several resources, and the main resources and the most valuable resources are the practices one. So as long as you access, you can download everything, even download the practice. Now, remember that those practices are going to be live entities. So maybe you download today the incident management practice, and maybe in 2 months' time we update that. So that's why Axelos suggests you to have constant access to the membership area. But you can buy the access for 1 year, and it's, I think, that 55 pounds or something like that. So it's already published. It's important. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, most of the people here are COBIT certified, also ITIL certified. So one of the attendees asking about the mapping between ITIL and COBIT. We used to have this in ITIL v3 and COBIT 5. Not sure about COBIT 2019 and ITIL 4. Any idea?
There is no formal mapping. to be honest, what I have seen is that Axelos is trying to work the more they can with different organizations, in this case with ISACA. But you know how organizations work. If there is not a good understanding, then you're not going to see an official paper. But what I will say is, if you see there is I don't remember where I saw this picture on COVID 2019. In fact, I included that in one of my sessions on COVID, and there is a very famous image on COVID 2019 that is, it looks like the chemistry periodical table, and it is like the controls that has COVID-19, and if you see that and you just map immediately with ITIL, they use a lot of similar names for practice and their control. So there is no an official one. There is no one, but I would say that it's really easy to just map them. So remember, COVID is much more focused on controlling, and ITIL is much more focusing on designing and developing the way of working. And once that you have developed that way of working, then you can control that with COVID.
Yeah, last two questions. One is about, that's the big question. Like, is there any official publicly shared ITIL 4 success implementation stories where we can learn from their experiences?
Yeah. Yes, there are several. Please give me some time to ask for them to Axelos, and I will be gladly send you. Now, if you go to my ITIL, just put that, my ITIL Axelos on Google, and you will go to my ITIL resource area. And in this resource area, you will be able to see and to read and to download many successful stories, many successful histories, okay? And on the other side, it's important to mention, I can speak about that because I am on the NDA, but we're still working on new publications, not core publications. The core publications are the one that you already see, and all of them are already available. But we are still working on complementary publications. So Axelos is still moving, and one of the main good news is that we are translating that in several languages. As long as we finish that, we have been discussing even on the table that. What if these kind of publications goes into Arabic? That will be really cool. So Axelos is continually working and constantly working. So one of the main efforts that you are doing over there, Tony, and I congratulate you for that, is that if Axelos start seeing this interest in the region for these kind of things, they will start bringing you these publications, even in Arabic or in any other language that you ask for. So just consider that. And I know that some of you or most of you speak French as well. So they are already available in French. You know, so Axelos team is constantly working. So we are working on different front sides and just wait for it. But for everything that you have been asking for, everything is already on my Axelos website.
Yeah, of course. And this is the main reason of this forum actually here in the Arab world. So bring together all IT service management people or service desk people. You know, what is the importance of service desk when it comes into IT service management? And usually, they are always behind in the organization where they should be, the most important one. Okay, so the last question, it's about training, I guess. Where it is? Just give me one moment.
Sure.
Okay, something about the ITS. They said expiry date for ITIL 4, the ITS certification. Is there any reason behind?
There is no, and well, I have a good news for you. Even from my point of view, I have, of course, I have plenty of people who is working with me. They are senior consultants. They have PhDs. They have master degrees. and they got ITIL B2 certifications. And when we want to hire one people with ITIL knowledge, if somebody arrives me with an ITIL B2 certificate, that has a lot of value for me. Why is that? Because that proves me that they were involved in this service management way of thinking since almost 20 years ago. That's a lot of experience. So just remember, ITIL certifications exams are not technology certification exams. You can actually do right now the AI certification on Azure, on AWS, on Google, oh yes, you are just certified. Next year, it's going to be useless. Next year, and especially speaking in AI, next year it's going to be useless because there are new tools, new technology. Those has expiry dates. On the ITIL side, there is no expiry date. On the contrary, the service management community across the globe values the more all of these certifications. So far, there is not something like it's not no longer value. Okay, it's not. They do not have value. They have value now. On when is Axelos through PeopleCert, which is the examination institute, stop delivering ITIL V3 training, formally speaking, this year. And why is that? Because this is the transition period, okay? So as you can imagine, the ITIL V training request has been slowing down, and of course, ITIL 4 is just going up. We are still delivering, and as an ATO in BP Gurus, we are an ATO, and we are still delivering. I will say that for every 10 courses in ITIL 4 that we deliver, we are delivering one ITIL V3. So this is a relation of 10 to 1, you know. So that's on the due date for the stop delivering ITIL V3 certification courses.
Yeah, of course. That's also, you know, certification in ITIL 4, it's a good investment. It's an excellent investment. Yeah, of course. Also, I know that Axelos, SDI, they are willing to invest, as you said, in our area. But it's about bringing people together. Tell them that we are here. We are here to learn. We are here to help. Also, we are here to give our opinion, our experience back from the Arab world into Axelos and SDI. Okay, I would like to thank you again, Mauricio. It was a great pleasure having you. More like this will come very soon to the community here in the Middle East and to the Arab world. Again, thank you very much.
Oh, it's all my pleasure, and thank you so much, Tony, for inviting me, and congratulations again for doing these kind of things. I strongly believe that the more you grow as a community, the more attention you will have from guys like Axelos, of course. From the SDI perspective, I'm on the board of directors. We have discussed it several times. What else do we need to do in order to help the Arabic world to grow? So you know that you can always count on us, and everything you need from the SDI, from Axelos, from ISOs, from any single organization on which I am working for. You know that I am more than happy to help you on this. So thank you so much for the invitation. And this is a great opportunity for me to keep in touch with the amazing Arabic community. I love that community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mauricio. And we will end now. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.